Brain Rot got a massive glow up in Black Ops 7 Zombies that nobody's talking about. Much like every other returning perk, ammo mod, and field upgrade from Black Ops 6, Brain Rot received one new major and one minor augment. Some are great, some are bad, but both of Brain Rot's new augments are elite, and in this video, I'll be showing you exactly why. Before we jump into it, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a beat when Astra Malorum drops. With that out of the way, let's get into the breakdown. So let's start with the core updates, because this year, Brain Rot actually got some real love from Treyarch. Brain Rot no longer kills the last zombie in the round. This is massive for Easter egg hunts and one of the most annoying BO6 issues that was finally fixed when using this ammo mod. The second big thing Brain Rot has going for it, just the base version, is that it's now only one of 2 ammo mods that deal elemental damage to the Zersa. So that alone makes it basically mandatory on Ashes of the Damned if you want a fast Zersa takedown. Also, third, charm behavior is way more consistent this year, it's smoother, and it doesn't get stuck on weird cooldown loops anymore. So right out of the gate, this isn't the Brain Rot from BO6, it's an entirely different beast. Getting into the major augments, let's kick it off with Plague, which is honestly the best of the returning augments. Plague creates a chain reaction. Your turn zombie can turn other zombies. It's not as fast or as flashy as something like Fireworks, but in the low to mid rounds, a single Brain Rot activation can chew through entire waves without you really even noticing. Last year, this was my go-to major augment on Brain Rot. This year, it's still strong, but it gets overshadowed by something way more insane. Again, speaking of insane, this next one is going to make the camo grinders very happy. For the second major augment, another returning one, we have Pheromone, which is basically a lightweight monkey bomb. Pheromone makes the charmed zombie not deal any damage, it's just literally a distraction, but that distraction lasts about like a solid 7 seconds. If you're working on the camo grind, especially those military headshot challenges, this one is a blessing that nobody really talks about or even thinks about. You can tee off on zombies while your little green Hovey gathers the crowd for you. Pair it with any high damage bullet weapon, this combo feels amazing. But this is not an offensive augment, honestly, it's just pure utility. Now what about the elites? We already know Brain Rot does affect the Zersas this year, but with the next major augment, you can actually turn it and make it your friend. Big Game is exactly what it sounds like, you can charm elite zombies. What's nice about Big Game is that they did buff the proc rate this year, but even with Elemental Pop, it still feels just a little bit slower that doesn't proc very often. You can get a friendly Zersa running around and smashing his own teammates, but in reality, it's more of a fun gimmick than anything practical. It's cool to see, but again, something I wouldn't really rely on in the higher rounds. I guess another underrated feature of Brain Rot that only exists on Ashes of the Damned, we'll have to see how this plays with other elite enemies in the DLC season, is that when you actually turn the Zersa, its honeybee hives and bee attacks will go for the zombies too. So again, it could be very useful, but again, I don't like the proc rate that it has, even with having like the extension minor augment equipped too. I just feel like it's not as practical as some of the other ones that you could be running. Now those were all the major returning augments, so buckle up because this new one is absolutely insane. Caustic Fumes is the new major augment, and it's one of the strongest augments in Black Ops 7 Zombies, period. This thing creates massive toxic gas clouds around your charmed zombie, and the best part, the gas cloud actually moves with the zombie. It doesn't stay in one spot like a trap, it follows the charmed zombie as he charges into the horde, vaporizing everything he touches. Pair Caustic Fumes with the right minor augments, and Brain Rot suddenly becomes a top-tier offensive ammo mod, legitimately right up there with Fireworks. Caustic Fumes is now the core of the entire Brain Rot build. Moving into the minor augments, we're going to start with Extension. Extension pretty much does exactly what it sounds like it does. It simply increases the duration of the charmed zombie. It's good early on, good while you're still researching augments, but once Brain Rot gets going, honestly, you really barely notice it. It's good for beginners, like I said, that are just kind of getting through the augment track, but it's not the meta. Next up, we have Haste. Haste reduces the cooldown before Brain Rot can trigger again. Again, solid early on in the game, it's pretty cool, but the moment you unlock Elemental Pop's ability to only proc Brain Rot, Haste becomes kind of redundant almost instantly. More procs feel nice for sure, but there are better choices. Our third minor augment is Explosive, which adds a toxic explosion when your turned zombie expires. In theory, it's amazing. In practice, the charmed zombie almost never dies in the middle of the horde, so it kind of just blows up off in the middle of nowhere and doesn't really do any major damage to the rest of the zombies. If Explosive had tighter timing or more damage, I think it'd be top tier, but by itself, it's pretty mid. But this next one is where everything changes. Again, this is the new minor augment. Super Serum is the new minor augment, and it supercharges the damage that charmed zombies can deal. Again, by itself, it's really not too impressive, especially when the charmed zombie already will kill other zombies in the horde. But when you pair it with other damage-based augments, especially Caustic Fumes, this thing goes nuclear. This is one of those, it starts off slow but becomes a monster augments. Alright, now that we've gotten all of the augments and their explanations out of the way, let's transform Brain Rot from something you barely even notice into the full-blown meta pick for your ammo mod here in BO7, at least at the start of the year. The best major augment you can run is Caustic Fumes. Again, this is the new one. This is the engine of your entire build. It horde clears, it does Zersa damage, it's got round control. This thing does everything. Like I said, Caustic Fumes is really, really sick. It creates that like Nova 6 gas around your turn zombie that then runs around and just insta-kills the horde. It's super, super good. If you pair this with the minor augments, Explosive and Super Serum, it becomes unbelievable. Like I said, guys, the new minor and major augments for Brain Rot are ones that you absolutely have to use. The reason why I'd suggest pairing all three of these together, even though I kind of did diss Explosive and Super Serum a little bit here when I was reviewing them individually, is because when you pair them together, it becomes absolutely nuts. The gas cloud from Caustic Fumes hits harder and kills faster when you pair it with Super Serum, and then at the very end, Super Serum paired with Explosive makes that explosion on the last turn zombie a lot better. So even if it's outside of like the initial horde or where the zombies are running around, you can kind of get that last little big explosion there. What I really like about this is that, yeah, on the lower rounds, you might not notice it because Caustic Fumes paired with Super Serum is going to chew through the majority of the horde, if not the entire horde itself. But when you get to the higher rounds and there's multiple waves, there's multiple trains of zombies in a single round, that's where Explosive comes in really clutch because, again, they will have a higher damage with Super Serum. It'll explode. It'll kind of spread some stuff all over the place. It'll either knock down zombies. It'll kill some zombies. It does that extra damage. It's just, this is, I think, the best three. Now, I think you could substitute Explosive for something like Extension, maybe even Haste if you want a faster trigger there, but I don't think Haste is going to be too noticeable, like I said, especially with Elemental Pop, just because you do get that faster trigger and faster proc with Elemental Pop, only proccing Brain Rot. Now, Extension could be something you look at, but again, when you're doing like when you're training on the higher rounds and it's kind of like, you know, you wipe off an entire horde and then another one's spawning back in, Extension's good, but like you're kind of wasting some time there. I'd almost rather it stop so that I can get that cooldown a little bit faster. So for my picks, I'd say you'd absolutely have to run Caustic Fumes as the major augment. Once you get that second minor augment unlocked, I would for sure have Super Serum as your #1 choice there, and then your secondary you could pick between Explosive or even Extension, just depending upon your play style. So that's the full breakdown on Brain Rot and Black Ops 7 zombies. It's not really like the, oh, you know, you turn a zombie here or there anymore. It really is an offensive juggernaut. This thing got reworked, rebalanced, and rebuilt into one of the most impactful mods in the entire game, especially on Ashes of the Damned, like I mentioned, because it does deal that Zersa damage as well. If you haven't given Brain Rot a try yet, because I know some people are probably just like, oh, it's the same thing as last year, definitely throw Caustic Fumes on your loadout, pair it with Explosive and Super Serum, and watch how fast Zersas and hordes get melted. It genuinely shocked me how good this thing is now, because originally I was like, oh, it's just Brain Rot, you know, I'll throw it on for the camo challenges I need it on, or like I said, it does the Zersa damage, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have Napalm Burst. But once I got these the major and minor augments unlocked and really gave Brain Rot a shot, it completely changed my mind on how this works, and I just, honestly, I love it so much. It's definitely going to be my top tier ammo mod here on Ashes of the Damned, although I don't know if it's going to do anything cool over on Astra Malorum. If I had to guess, like Fireworks and a Dead Wire might actually get some sort of a buff over there, or just, you know, do some damage to Oscar, who's the new elite enemy coming with Astra Malorum. So we'll see what happens there, but like I said, over on Ashes of the Damned, this is an absolute staple. Brain Rot no longer kills the zombie at the end of the round either, so you don't have to worry about running it and having it just completely waste rounds for you while you're doing the Easter egg. All around, guys, Brain Rot is meta. You guys absolutely need to give it a try if you haven't already. To the beginning of the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here. Also, turn on post notifications for everything Astra Malorum. That'll be dropping this Thursday, so we've got some good content coming for you guys over there. We're eating good with zombies this year. Can't wait to get on it. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay hydrated. Peace.